Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a new video. It's been a while. It's been 2 years from the video I'm making now. This is part 2 of Soulmates, Tiki Toby X Reader. It's been 2 years since I've made part 1, and now I'm making part 2 because somebody asked me when I'm gonna make part 2, so I'm doing it now. It's been a while since I've made a video, I know, I'm sorry. Been dealing with some stuff, don't worry about it. Alright, well, let's get to the start. Let's get to the point. So first off, we left with, I got one. What's your all-time favorite animal? You asked me eagerly. That's where we stopped. So I'm now doing the rest of it. I'm not making a part 3. I'm probably looking for other X readers. I'm right now currently reading X readers to see which one is really worthy of going on the channel. But if you have any other X readers, like it could be female, male, doesn't matter. Like if you want to have me read out a female, like a female X reader male version, that's completely fine. Yeah, still I don't know if there's curse words, didn't really look through the video. Well, let's just see and let's begin. He chuckles. Probably man. I don't know. Tigers, cats? He says hesitantly, unsure of himself. You point at him. Your turn. I thought bursts into his head and immediately comes out of his mouth. Do you love me? He asked hurriedly. This takes you aback a little bit and you were unsure how to answer. Well, you are my soulmate after all, you tell him honestly. He twitches again and motions towards you. Your turn. You nod. I can't curse. Sorry. You nod and shut out with a similar question. Do you love me? You ask playfully. He stops moving and his entire body stiffens up. Thank goodness his eyes were covered, or else you'd be able to see crazy sparkles in them. He answers, more than you could ever fucking... Not allowed to swear. So sorry. Freaking, alright? We're gonna replace the curse words with things that can actually be said on camera. Alright, sorry. He answers, more than you could ever freaking imagine. He trails off. That sounds very, very... Sorry, I'm getting out of hand. It's been a while, alright? Sorry about that. You giggle nervously. Okay, your turn. You... What? Usher him to continue him. Usher. Alright. He brightens up and smiles again. Okay, let me think. He tries to think of something he didn't know about you already due to his stalking of you these past few months. I got it. What's your favorite band? Like, all-time favorite? He asks. He had seen me listen to a lot of different types of music, but you never stated which one was your favorite. You debated on the question for a little bit. Probably... I don't know. You choose a band. I don't know. I love their music so much. I never get tired of it. You finally replied. He chuckled in response. Okay, your turn. Okay. How old are you? You ask him. He really couldn't tell, especially with the whole mouth guard thing. He pauses. I'm around 19, I think. I don't really keep track that too much. Why would you not keep track too? Alright. He answers honestly. You paused. There you go. This dude was like 4 years older than you. But this meant to be right. But this was meant to be, right? You hummed in response to his answer. He tries to think of something to ask you. Here, what's your favorite perfume? He asked hesitantly. Of course, he already knew the kind you were wearing right now. Of course, he already knew the kind you were wearing right now. Oh, wow, that didn't make sense real quick. He liked the mix of your scent mixed in with it. You smile brightly. Sorry if you can hear voices in the background. It's my dad kind of talking to my dog. My dog, like, woofs just to respond. Sorry about that, though, by the way. I'm taking a lot of pauses. I don't mean to, right? I'm just being a bit distracted. I'm not sick. You smile brightly. I like this one. What? I like this kind. I'm just skipping, sorry. I'm making it more, like, it's, it's reasonable. Yeah. I like this kind. From this place called Victoria's Secret. It's favorite perfume. It smells super good, you answer. I've never been to, oh my god. Smiling in response, he hummed. You immediately asked him, what's your favorite color? You asked him. Green, he chews back. You nod and point at him. I can kind of tell by the color of your hoodie. You smile up at him. He chuckles. Yeah, I guess so. Have you ever had a boyfriend before? He asks. He hoped you said no, because if you didn't, he want to go out and spill their guts all over the floor. He kind of would want to make you watch, too, just to get the point across. Suddenly, these thoughts are shook from him when you answered with a slightly embarrassed no. He smirked. Good, he trailed off. There was some tension in the air, but you decided to break it by asking the next question. Have you, ever had a girlfriend before? You asked him, a light blush forming on your face. He smirks, widens. Nope, he says. You nod slightly, relieved that your soulmate hadn't dated before. He ponders what he should ask before realizing he didn't have any many options left. Hey, name, I don't think I have anything else to ask. Let's play something else, he tells you. What did he want to know, your favorite TV show or something? Maybe he just thinks it's boring. You frown slightly, but soon replace it with a smile that makes Toby's heart flutter. Okay, Toby, this time you pick, since I picked the last time, you tell him. He smirks as an idea pops into his head. Truth or dare? He shouts to you as his neck. Oh my necks. Oh my god. His neck cracks. Why is my reading? All right. Your smile falters. This could go one of two ways. Bad or good. But you honestly didn't know what would be bad and what would be good at this rate. He nodded hesitantly. Okay. Nothing weird, though, you warned him. He doesn't pay any mind and just turns to you. No picking truth twice in a row, too, he says. That seemed fair, I guess. Okay. You agree? He clasps his hands together. I'll go first. Your name, truth or dare? He asks with anticipation. Truth, you say quickly. He flicks you on the shoulder. Lame, he taunts. You puff your cheeks out and cross your arms. Whatever. Just ask me the question already. Sorry, Okay, is it true that you never had a boyfriend or you were lying to me? He asked in an upbeat tone, despite the implication. You looked at him strangely. I've never had a boyfriend, so no, I'm not lying. I'm being truthful. Rest assured. All right. You reassure. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, my reading sucks at this point. You reassure him. He nods with a smile on his face. Okay, Toby, truth or dare? You ask him. He grins slightly, but you can't see it because of the mouth guard. Dare, give me your worst, he says with an air of confidence. You giggle. All right, then, mister, I can handle anything. I dare you to take off that mouth guard thingy, you say with a smirk. Toby freezes slightly, but he knows he can't back down. Fine, then. He twitched. He raises his hand towards it, and you watch with anticipation. His hands grasps it, and he pulls it off. Underneath it, on the left side of his face, he was missing a part of the skin, which exposed some of his teeth. You tilted your head. You knew this dude was a little off. But in all reality, who were you to judge? You were better than to judge someone for their appearance. You smiled at him and motioned for him to continue the game. With a smirk, he placed the mouthguard back on and sighed. Okay. I totally got one. You can't pick truth since you did last round, and I already have a dare. He announces to you. You sigh in defeat. Okay, don't make it weird though, you reminded him. His mouth guard moves up slightly, indicating he still had a grin on his face. Of course, he twitches a bit. I dare you to tell me you love me, he says, beaming. You raise your eyebrow a bit. Jeez, your soulmate sure was weird. Okay, I love you, you tell him hesitantly. He locks eyes with you. Say my name when you tell me it, he says while staring at you. Okay. I love you, Toby, you tell him while trying best to conceal your inner confusion. Oh my god. You could just hear my dog going crazy. Not my dog, my parents' dogs. Oh well. You watch as he starts to twitch erratically. You could assume he was smiling widely, though. Suddenly you extended a hand towards him. Toby, are you alright? You ask him with a concern in your voice. Suddenly he bursts out laughing. I love you too, you name. He exclaims out to you as he wrapped his arms around you. You stiffen up and just sit there. You guess he was just lonely. His arms jerk around as he twitched, and you heard his neck crack a few times as he both sat in silence. For some reason, you start to ease into the hug and not feel stiff and awkward. This felt alright. As your head leaned against his chest, you found his slight tick strangely comforting. Your eyelids felt a little heavy, and you found yourself closing them while held in Toby's embrace. Before you could even realize it, you had fallen asleep. Toby left you lean against him more slightly, and he looked down to only see your sleeping form. He lifted his hands up and played with your hair lightly, just petting it and smoothing it out. The color of your hair was lovely to him. He felt that it suited you very well, not to mention it was so soft. He pulled off one of his gloves and put his hand through your hair, and it felt silkiness and overall fluffiness of it. It was heavenly to him. Every part of you was. As his hands weaved through your hair, he wrapped his other arm around your neck. He realized that the position you were in, and he felt himself smile wider. If he wanted, he could just choke the life out of you and make you stop existing. If he just... Toby shook his nose. No, he yelled out unwillingly as he battled through thoughts in his head. He realized he may have woken you up, and his eyes shoot down to you. Nope. You were still leaning against him with steady breaths. He sighed. Thank goodness you were a heavy sleeper. Leaning himself further back into the couch, he felt slightly sleepy as well. Soon enough, he felt him asleep while holding you in his arms. The both of you slept for a long time, sorry. And then we have the time skip to, I don't know. What is the time skip? Yep. Sorry. Alright, team. You heard some slight shuffling, and you felt your eyes slowly open. As you looked around your surroundings, you found yourself on a couch. A blanket had been placed over you. You smiled, thinking of Toby. Realizing you had fallen asleep against him, you blushed slightly. Speaking of Toby, where was he anyway? Your eyes glanced around the room you were in, aka Toby's living room. He wasn't in here with you. Suddenly you heard footsteps thundering throughout the house. You only had a split second to look at the doorway before a flash of green and brown flew through it and attacked you. It didn't hurt, but you were being laid on by Toby. You felt yourself getting squeezed, and you looked down to see Toby's face laying on your stomach. Hey, Name, I'm so happy you're awake, he said to you, although slightly muffled. He smiled formed in your face. He was adorable. He laid on you, and his face lifted up from your stomach for him to look at you in the eyes. Did you dream? Was it about... Oh, what was it about? Oh, was it about me? He bombarded you with questions about a dream you didn't even have. As you open your mouth to answer or speak again, or did you dream of another guy? You better not have. You're my soulmate after all. Nobody else's. He empathized. Yeah. You look at him and gulp. Toby could be a little scary at times. No, Toby, I didn't have any dreams. And if I did, then I don't remember it. You reassure him. He closed his eyes and grinned. Good. I'm the only guy you'll ever need, he tells you. Ignoring this, you lifted your hands up. His hair looked so fluffy. You had to touch it. There was no way you couldn't play with this dude's hair. Quickly, you planned both of your hands into Toby's head and you pull his hood down. Toby, confused, looked up at you with confusion clear in his mind. Your name, what are you doing? Wait, let me redo that. Your name, what are you? He gets off by feeling your hands ruffled through his hair. He melts into your touch and lazily sprawls out on the couch, and you... On the couch, and you what? Your hands continue to ruffle and play with his hair, and it was just as soft as he thought it looked. It looked like a really pretty chocolate bar. Man, you could totally go for one of those right now. Or maybe some favorite candy. Maybe Toby had some. Well, it wouldn't hurt to ask. Hey, Toby. Sorry. That one reminds me of like the meme, like, hey, Barbie, you know? No, but, hey, Toby, you begin? No, I fucked up. Let me redo. Sorry about that, guys. Hey, Toby, you asked. He lifted his head slowly to look up at you, although he keeps his eyes closed. Yeah, sugar? He responds. Did he just use a nickname for you? You start to blush. Do you have any candy lying around at all? I've got a major sweet tooth. You ask him while sort of mumbling the last part. Sure enough, Toby heard it regardless. Aw, my little name has a sweet tooth. He smiles giddily. Giddly. Oh my god. I'll get anything for you, honey, he says dreamily while his brown eyes met your eye-clear ones. Sorry, I'm trying not to squeal like a fangirl. Your blush reddens and he chuckles lightly. I'm pretty sure I have something lying around. Stay here and don't leave, he shouts as he abruptly stands up and runs to the kitchen. As Toby enters the kitchen, he smiled. He already knew your favorite candy, and he had stocked up some of it just for you. As Toby entered the... Oh, wait, I already read that. He grabs a handful of individual packages, favorite candy. He runs back to the couch where you were. Thank goodness you were still there. He'd go mad in more ways than if you weren't. He tossed the candy at you, and he finds himself interested with how happy you looked. Toby, this is my favorite candy. You're the best ever, you tell him happily. His heart flutters at those words, and he takes a bit more than usual. Of course, anything for my name, he says, and then sits on the couch next to you. As she shoved the candy into your mouth, you picked up one and offered it to him. You swallowed down the candy to speak to him. Toby, you gotta have some. It's heaven, you say and sigh dreamily for dramatic effect at the end. Toby smirks. I'm sure it's not as sweet as you, he exclaims. You giggle in response. Toby, you're something else, you tell him. He rubs the back of his neck as he smiles at you. You continue to eat the candy, and Toby sits in silence, expecting for the tray package crinkling. Soon enough, all the candy was gone. You felt extremely satisfied. You scoot closer to Toby, and you leaned your head against his shoulder. He noticed this, and he feels his face heat up as he twitched more and more. Sorry. As you noticed Toby's twitching, you poked his side. Toby? You waited for a response. He looked down at you. Yeah? He answers hesitantly. Toby was afraid you'd tell him to stop twitching. Instead, you held your hand up to him. Give me your hand, you commanded. He lifted his hand and put it up to yours. You intertwined your fingers with your fingers with his and pulled his hand down with yours as they rested on the cushion of the couch. What the frick happened down there? Probably something crazy. Oh well, it's nothing new. Toby's heart started to pound. He loved how he felt when he was around you, but inside he still had this feeling. The feeling of wanting to just tie you up and throw a brick into your face. He didn't know why. You were his soulmate. His thought became more and more dark, imagining various ways to torture you and hurt you. You noticed how dark his eyes had become as they stared into the distance, appearing slightly glazed over. Maybe you needed to shake him out of whatever he was thinking. You squeezed his hand with yours reassuringly. His eyes widened and he turned his head to look down at you. You started Toby with a genuine concern clearing your eyes. The both of you continued to stare at each other for a few minutes, you just relishing in each other's gaze. You just couldn't stand the thought of living without you. What? Toby just couldn't stand the thought of living without you. Even he had just now been able to truly hang out with you and not just admire you from afar like the past few months. But the urges was still there. Maybe it was his nature now that he was a proxy. One look at your eyes, though, made all of his thoughts melt away. It only brought a lovesick grin on his face. He was so happy to have you. He brought his other hand up and put it behind your head as he patted your hair gently. Oh God, almost tripped. As you both stared into each other's eyes, you found yourself leaning towards him. Toby notices this and leaned in too while not breaking eye contact. Your hands lifted up to his mouth guard and you slowly removed it and set it down without breaking eye contact. Toby leaned in closer to you, his face as red as a poppy flower. As your lips connected, you both closed your eyes and just savored the moment. Although the kiss may have only lasted 30 seconds, when you both broke away, you were slightly out of breath. You turned your head away from each other, not wanting to meet your eyes as you both covered your faces with your hand. You uncovered your face, but you kept your eyes on the cushion below you rather than the boy in front of you. He uncovered his face and went to meet your eyes, but they were looking down. Why weren't you looking at him? You were the one who initiated the kiss, and now you won't even spare him a glance? Why was he so angry? Toby didn't know, but he had to make himself clear. You felt a hand roughly grab your chin and your eyes widened as you stared up at Toby, noticing his angry expression. What had you done wrong? Your heartbeat started to quicken. Toby, why do you look so angry? You were cut off as he roughly pushed his lips against yours. Hold on. Just making sure. A small yelp was your only response, although it went unheard since your mouth was tightly pressed against Toby's. Alright, okay, I'm sitting back down. This wasn't like the tender moment you had shared minutes before. It was an angry, hatred-filled kiss. Your eyes met Toby's, and while yours were filled with tears, with fear and confusion, his were just filled with rage. You didn't know what you did to make him so angry. You didn't mean to. As the kiss just kept lasting, Toby uses his arms to keep you in place. Soon enough, you found yourself needing air. You started to thrash around, and although Toby was strong, you knew you had to get out of his grip. As you pushed him away, finally, you gasped and started coughing. Toby only stared at you, realizing what he had done. Your beautiful eye colors had teared up due to the coughing. Turning your head, you looked at Toby. Fear was presented in your eyes, an emotion Toby loved to see, but to see it in his soulmate's eyes, it felt strange. He lived off of fear of others in a way. That's why he loved killing. But this wasn't right. He was supposed to make you happy, not scared of him. While he contemplated this, he didn't notice you scoot away from him while you stared at him in fear. Toby looked up and locked eyes with you. He seemed conflicted. He scooted close to you, and you were at the edge of the couch, extending a hand. He had a pleading look on his face. I'm sorry. He apologized as he caressed your face with his hands. You were still scared, but you stayed still. You didn't want to provoke him again. He patted his hand along the couch, feeling for his mouth guard. As his hand ran over it, he grabbed it and pulled his other hand back in as he put it back into his face. Toby looked ashamed. You stayed frozen in place. He locked eyes with you once again. I really can't control it. I have bipolar disorder. I am freaking up. I didn't mean for this to happen. I swear. He spoke with a pleading tone. Your eyes widened. Toby having disorders would explain a lot. He continued, his voice faltering. I have so many different types of problems. I don't mean to be this way, he explains. As your shoulders loosened up slightly, you hear him out. Toby began to speak again. I can't even feel pain. I always twitch and tick. Sometimes I wake up in places I don't remember stuff. And I stutter all the time because of my dumb freaking tics. I see things or hear things in my head that aren't really there, and I cannot stand it at all. Loud noises and cars making me freaked up. Because of... He trails off. He holds his head in his hands. I'm not normal, name. I'm really, really not. He raises his voice slightly as he feels a tear fall from his eyes. You hesitate. You hesitate. Should you try and comfort him? Maybe you should just ease into it and see if he rejects your comfort. Slowly you extend a hand and go to place it into his back. His tics become very loud and more frequent, and you lay your hand on his back and move it in a circular motion. Toby's breath hitched but soon let out a small sob. To say you pitied him would be rude, but right now you couldn't help but do so. The best you can do right now is just comfort him to the best of your abilities, you decided. You scooted closer to him, but not too close. Due to his sudden outburst, you had to tread carefully. You saw tears fall to the floor, and you noticed his orange goggles had been pushed up into his forehead. As he let out silent sobs, you continued to rub his back and just watched him cry. You probably needed this cry. It's not good to bottle it up. Toby's uneven breaths are all you can feel in your hand and frequent tics. He turns his head towards you, and you see his eyes clearly without the orange tint of for the first time. A look of doubt and sadness was in his eyes, and he couldn't see the softened look in yours. It still made his heart flutter. He coughed slightly from the uneven breathing and then locked eyes with you. You probably think I'm not worthy of your time now. Not worthy to be your freaking soulmate. He shut off as more tears fell to the floor. You stared at him with widened eyes. You'd never think that of him. Without a second thought, you wrapped both of your hands around him and held him in a tight embrace. You spoke softly to him. I'll never think that of you, Toby. You reassured him. His eyes locked with yours as you leaned into him. You smiled at him. You were the best soulmate I could ask for, you told him honestly. He smiled at you. You leaned into him as he did with you, and you both let some tears fall freely. In each other's comfort embrace, you both felt at peace. You and Toby both had the feeling that everything would be okay. So, guys, that was the end of the chapter. That was the end. This is chapter 2 of Soulmates to Toby X Reader, and the last one. This is the end of the story. There is no part 3, there's no parts further. This was the end of the story. I hope you guys really liked it, and if you want to comment down below more ex-readers you want. Could be female, could be male, could be whatever you want. As long as it is in the creepypasta, because that's what we're going for. If you guys would like, I would put down my Wattpad username. You can search that up and talk to me. I'll put down a Discord. I don't know if it will work, but we'll see. Probably not putting down a Discord because it doesn't really work out well. Yeah, I'm putting down my Wattpad name. We can talk through there if you want to. You don't necessarily have to. Anything else? Not really. All right. I hope you liked it. Have a good night, evening, day, afternoon. I hope you like and subscribe so you never miss a video, of course. Let's hope we can make it to the 1K subscribers. Please like, because I haven't had many likes in a while, or comments as well. Comment down below what you think of this story, what you want me to read, and what you want me to do. Like, not want me to do, but what you want me to read, what kind of stories you want me to read, what kind of ex-readers. And yeah, that's all. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and have a very pleasant day. Bye!